Welcome to Evergreen Conversations, a breakthrough audiovisual storytelling medium that serves as a platform for news, entertainment, sports, and culture. My name is Freddrell Green, and joining me is my co-host.
Fallon Green. Hello, everybody.
Good sir, good sir. It's the first episode I have with my brother, co-founder and partner in this thing, man. And today on our holiday themed episode, we have a very special guest with us today. He is known as the voice actor of one of the greatest television shows in animated history. He's been in shows such as Welcome to the Wayne. He's been in the Brack Show. He's been in a plethora of other things that you probably don't know about or probably haven't watched. He's a renowned theater performer, actor, artist, entertainer. Ladies and gentlemen, Frylock, Carey Means.
Hey, man, that was a pretty nice introduction. Did you practice that?
No, I was off the dome.
It was off the dome, off the top. All right. I appreciate the love, brother.
Yeah.
Apparently, I met you guys before. My wife reminded me that we met before. Was it at a con?
Nah, it was actually at our radio station in WXAG. It was all the way up in Athens. I texted you on Instagram and you came all the way from Atlanta to do
Oh,
our.
I remember that now. Yeah. That was some time ago, wasn't it? You guys were like still in high school then, weren't you?
Yeah. And it was also my birthday too. So it was a great
Oh,
birthday present.
that was wow.
Yep, that.
How long ago was that?
This was
That would
2 years.
be 2 years ago. Yeah.
2 years.
Yes.
Time flies, man. Well, when is your birthday, by the way?
So it was December 5th.
Day
So I'm
after mine.
20. Yeah, the day
Mine's the
after
4th.
yours.
Me and Jigga share a birthday. I don't know if I should be proud of that now that he's in hot water.
Yeah.
We share the same birth date, December
Ah,
4th. Sagittarius and Heezy for Sheezy. What about you,
Mhm.
Fallon? When's your birthday?
My birthday was a few months ago in June 30th. That was when I turned 18.
Yeah,
So,
summer, baby. Summertime, baby.
yeah.
What does that make you? What does that make you? Cancer? No.
yeah,
Yeah, I am.
that's yeah,
That
that's
is accurate.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm the baby boy of 7 siblings, so I got cancers, I got Geminis, I got Virgo, I got Pisces, and Sagittarius. I got a cousin that's a Scorpio, so I kind of learned about astrological signage when I was growing up. And basically, it got more to do with personality than astrological signage of birthdays because you could tell the type of personality a person is. At least I can anyway, by by the
Yeah.
astrological sign. I'm not saying that any of them are bad or good. I'm just saying that the personality traits stand out in relation to their astrological sign. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I want to start this off just by asking, because we're heading into the next year. It's
yeah,
December of 2024. It's been 2 years since we all met and did this
right,
conversation, and a
right.
lot has happened since then. So, how has this year been for you, Carey? How has it been?
This year's been good. I did a lot of cons, not as much as I like. I like to have 3 or 4 a month, but it's just not the reality of it.
Mm.
You guys still there? Where'd you
Yeah,
Oh,
go?
yeah.
no.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
so the camera's on you now. That's
Oh,
how
you
you.
came on me now. Well,
Yeah.
let me speak like it's all important. No, I'm just kidding. So, now this year's been great, man. I've done a lot of good shows, and I auditioned to be the voice of Blade in the Blade video game. I didn't get it, but
Ooh,
Ooh.
that's
one
nice.
of those big, wow! If I get this, one of those big auditions, you know what I'm saying? He kind of. I usually tell people when they audition for something to hit it, quit it, and forget it. I usually tell them that because if you dwell on it, you're gonna lose your hair like me. Don't dwell on these auditions, and that's a good tip for you, Fallon, if you want to get into doing the voiceovers, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Don't dwell on auditions. I hope you can take rejection well because you're gonna get a lot of that. You're gonna be told no more than yes. Trust me, I know. It's speaking of the blade thing. I mean, I heard the guy who got it, and I'm like, I guess he's all right. I think I would have done a better job. But you're always gonna say that I was better than him. But hey, it was they had hired a guy to do Frylock's voice before they got me. He was
Oh
like a
yes.
he was like a trucker or something, and I
Yeah.
guess he sounded like Michael Clark Duncan or something like that. And all I know is Dave Willis wanted, who's the co-creator of the show, Dave Willis and Matt Malero, the two creators of the show. They wanted Frylock to sound cool. They wanted to have a deep voice, so they had this truck driver who couldn't act. He had the voice, but he couldn't act. So when they heard me, they was like, "He's out. This guy's in." So you know what I'm saying. So it was like,
Mm.
okay. So I, for a long time, I didn't know that I stole the part from another dude. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was just always my part, but apparently he sucked and I didn't. So yeah, that's,
Hey, that's the name of the game. Sometimes you
terminology.
got talent, sometimes you don't.
Yeah, you either got it or you
hmm
don't. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but people come up to me all the time and ask me, do I think they would be good doing voiceovers? I'm like, yeah, if you can read and you can enunciate your vowels and consonants, then sure. You can, I mean, people get, everybody has a different voice. Everybody has their own unique signature voice. And usually that's what's going to get you work in commercials or film or something like that, is your average everyday speaking voice. Now, if you can do characters, then that's a bonus. That's an extra bonus. I would suggest that you do a separate demo reel for your characters than you do for your commercial work or auditions or whatever. Yeah, just do a character reel for characters and do an audition reel that is commercial for commercials work. And don't make them any longer than a minute because
Mm.
nobody's going to listen to you now. This day and age, longer than a minute, just the attention span is not there.
Yeah.
They're not going to listen to anybody longer than a minute. That's just the way it is. They'll either hear it and go, "I want that guy," or they hear it and go, "Ah, no." But
Yeah.
usually, like I said, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be, "Nah, no." But that 10th time, like they used to tell you in sales, if you've ever done telemarketing, for every 10 no's, there's a yes. If it's more like for every 50 to 100 no's, there's a yes. So, but you
Mm.
got to get to that 50 to 100. You got to just keep plugging. Don't give up. Don't give up. That's what I tell people. Don't quit. If you really want this, it'll happen. You know what I'm saying? Some people get lucky and just fall into it like happenstance. God bless those people. uh, I got lucky to get the role of Frylock. I got lucky to get the role of Thundercleese. And welcome to the Wayne, Jonah Bishop. Jonah Bishop came about because I was Frylock. That's the only role I've ever gotten
Mm.
in my life because I was Frylock. The guy was a fan of Aqua Teen growing up. Him and his siblings used to watch the show on Adult Swim. And he sat there and he swore up and down, "I'm gonna have those guys on my show one day. I'm gonna have a show one day, and I'm gonna have the Aqua Teens on there." And damn if he didn't do it. He did it.
Yeah.
His name is Billy Lopez, and his brother's name is Bobby Lopez. And Bobby Lopez was well known for doing some of the music from Frozen, um, the stage musical adult comedy called Avenue Q, which was based on Sesame Street, but it
Mm.
was geared toward adults. Did music for that. So he's got all these awards and everything like that. And Bobby is Billy's brother. So Billy was like, "I got this idea for the show, man. I want you guys to be on it." So Welcome to the Wayne was born. It actually was a pretty good show. It lasted a couple of seasons, and we got nominated for an Emmy for that show. As a matter of fact, didn't win, but it got nominated. People compare it to Gravity Falls. If you've ever seen Gravity Falls, they compare Welcome to the Wayne.
hmm
But
Yeah.
somewhere
Yes.
floating around in cyberspace, you might be able to find that show. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but it's worth a look. It's
Yeah.
it's like okay, the best example I could put it is that we went from the adult pool to the kiddie pool, basically. Aqua Teens went from being adult oriented to kid friendly. So it was me, Dana Snyder, the voice of Master Shake, and Dave Willis, the voice of Carl and Meatwad. So we all did voices in the show, Welcome to the Wayne, and we did not change our our voices one iota. So it was like Frylock was a human being, like this guy behind me on this banner, Jonah Bishop. This guy back here, he sounded exactly like Frylock. Okay.
Mhm.
Dana's character sounded exactly like Shake, and Dave's character sounded exactly like Carl, and so on and so forth. So yeah, he wanted it that way. He was like, I don't want y'all to change your voices at all. Just
Yeah.
do the regular Aqua Teen thing. It's just ain't gonna be no cursing or nothing. Yeah,
So you talked about going out auditioning for roles like Blade and trying to get that work in this year. Uh with next year rolling around and also with the things you've achieved with Aqua Teens, first of all, is Aqua Teens still going to be running? Is it still a show now? I know
it's
they
up in
brought
the
it
air.
back after
It's up
the
in
movie.
the air. Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know. If y'all familiar with this, we did 5 episodes a couple of years ago. They called that a season. 5 episodes. They called it the clandestine.
Real fans know that's not enough.
It's not enough for me. I mean, I would have preferred
Yeah.
25. If you want to call it a season, give me more than 5. At least give me 10 or 20. You know what I'm saying? We can call that a season, but 5 episodes, you call it a season? Thank God it's streaming on HBO Max, or known as Max now. And if you haven't seen the new movie Plantasm, check it out. It's streaming on there as well. And I'm very
Yes.
proud of Plantasm myself as a voice actor because it's basically Frylock is a star of that movie.
Hmm.
It's very heavily Frylock driven and is geared towards Frylock's fed upness, if that's a word. Maybe it isn't. I just made it up. His fed upness with Shake. Once again, he gets fed up with Shake and tired of his Shake's BS. Moves out the house, goes off on his own, and starts working for this company that he thinks is this great company, but it's like it's a fake Amazon type company. That instead of stuff that comes in boxes to your door, it sends just boxes to your door, and the boxes turn into killer plants. And I probably already said too much. If people haven't seen it, let's check it out. Plantasm on Max. It's a nice holiday film. Oh, oh no, just it's not. But
What would you
it's
say your
it's on the
experience
periphery.
working with
What's
what
that?
would you say your experience working with Cartoon Network was like in your
When I
years?
first started in the '90s, it was cool, man. It was like I'm living the dream. Here I am. I'm going to the studio and I'm recording for these cartoons and stuff like that. I started out. I was doing what they call bumps for like. You would hear the announcer come on and go, coming up next, Pokemon, coming up next, Samurai Jack, coming up next, Ed, and Eddie. I was that guy. I was the guy who would tell you about. I was the announcer for the first run of Samurai Jack. I was the guy
Hmm.
who would tell you about the next episode of Samurai Jack. On the next Samurai Jack, Jack gets into this, so that, and the other. And this guy heard me. He was a production assistant at the time. His name is Larry Morris. I know his name very well because I went to high school with a guy named Larry Morris. But my Larry Morris was more like Spicoli on Fast Times at Ridgemont High,
Hmm.
as opposed to this Larry Morris. I'm sure he wasn't like that, but but anyway, this Larry Morris heard me doing those bumps and those reads for Samurai Jack, and he ran to Matt Malero and Dave Willis, and he was like, "You got his Carey Means guy. He'd be perfect for the show y'all doing about these food products, man." The next thing you know, on the break room of my day job, auditioning for the role of Frylock, and I didn't even know what he looked like. I just had a faxed copy of the Rabbit script, which was the very first episode, the pilot episode of Aqua Teen. No, meanwhile, don't get the jam box. And I could hear Matt Malero and Dave Willis on the other end of the phone just cracking up, man. They was just rolling, laughing. And I'm like, what is this crap? A floating box of fries? I'm not going to get this gig. So I just followed my own advice. And I hit it and quit it and forgot about it. Next thing you know, they called me up, and my agent was like, "You got the job. You got it." I was like, "What? Get the hell out of here!" So I was
So
on cloud nine, man. Of
so
course, at the
with
time, I didn't know nothing about residuals or much about contracts or none
yeah,
of that stuff. And living
yeah.
in the right to work state of Georgia, you find out real quick that you don't get residuals. At least we didn't in the first 20-year run of the show. We didn't get got zero residuals, nothing on the
Yeah.
get back. Now we do, but that's a whole different ball game now since it's on Max and it's streaming on there. And the 5 episodes we did, they had commercial breaks and stuff like that. So that means the more it's shown, the more residuals you get, or the more people watch the movie Plantasm, the more residuals you get. So it's like that's where when I go to these conventions, I'm like, "Have you seen Plantasm? You watch it."
Yeah.
I tell everybody to watch it.
So what's your opinion on the state of quality when it like the quality of the cartoons that Cartoon Network has been producing as of late? So like a lot of people that watch Cartoon Network in its golden age know that it's not the same as it is now.
I think I think I speak for the majority of fans when I say Teen Titans. The original run of Teen Titans was excellent. It was great. Then they changed it to Teen Titans Go. They didn't even tell the cast members what they were going to do with Teen Titans Go. They just told them that they were going to reboot Teen Titans, and the cast assumed that it was going to be like it was. They didn't know it was going to be like anime kitty shit all the time, like it is now. That's what Teen Titans Go is, and it's like, what did they? Why did they? Huh? What are they doing? Why did
Yeah.
they do that? So now everything is like Teen Titans Go, to me, in my opinion, that they show.
Mhm.
Except for maybe Eric Andre, which no offense to Eric Andre, but I just don't get. I
I
don't get
mean,
his show. I don't get his humor. I don't get it. Maybe I'm getting too old.
I think Trey could attest to the opposite.
Oh yes. I mean, it's definitely more shock level value humor
Yeah,
than
that's all it
anything.
is. I mean, you have these people come on your show who want to kick your ass. Basically, that's what's going on. He's like he does this stupid shit to people, and either they in on it or they totally not in on it. I'm thinking a lot of the times they're not.
I
You
mean,
know,
think about it like Family Guy humor, like
that's worse than
Mhm.
Family Guy.
I mean,
Some of the shit he does is no, it's beyond Family. Family Guy pushes the envelope. It does. It does push the envelope, but his stuff is like I don't know. It's like South Park on crack.
yeah,
Could explain it to
yeah.
some, but
But some could say that Aqua Teens and the level of comedy and
Aqua Teen has pushed the envelope a few times, but I don't know if it's well. Dickaso might have gone that far.
I mean, with the bomb scare,
Well,
that was definitely pushing the
there's
envelope.
one episode of Aqua Teen that Max won't show, and that is the episode that's known as "Shake Like Me." Shake is bitten by a radioactive black man, and he turns into Jamocha Loca Chakalaka
Huh?
chocolate. He turns into a black version of himself,
Oh,
big lips, and all this shit.
oh,
And so,
yeah, that's
and so
definitely
a lot of people ask me, they go, "What did you think of that? What did you think about that episode?" And I was like, "What do you mean? What did I think about it? I did my lines. I went home and I waited on my check, just like every other episode. If they had been dropping N-word bombs like the Boondocks or something like that, I might have got offended. But you know, I knew deep down that Frylock was gonna figure out a way to change his dumb ass back, and he did. So it was I wasn't offended by that shit. People thought I was for some reason. I guess because I'm black. It's because I'm black, ain't it? It was
And that's
offended.
how it be.
Frylock, you should be offended by that shit. You black. No, about that shit.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It was like
yeah.
there were a few episodes that kind of tweaked my buttons though. You know, like the one where they give Fry cancer and he's perfectly fine by the end of the episode. There's the scenario where they were leading up to the first movie where they were saying that Frylock was a woman trapped in a man's body. I'm like, they try to emasculate me. They try to take my manhood away. They try to they try to give me cancer and all that. I'm like, well, I Frylock always got to be the one to get killed or some shit.
I guess
That
it's
was
because he's what do you call it? Like he's the serious guy. He has to be like the guy that's getting hit all the hits or something like that.
I guess.
Like he's the guy that can take it, like
Supposedly, yeah. They killed me off at the season finale, at the series finale. But then they had another version of that where Frylock doesn't die; he lives on, and he ends up in the penal system, and he joins a white supremacist group.
yeah. I also wanted to touch on.
I didn't write it. I didn't write it. I just read it. That's why I tell people I don't write it. I
Interesting
just read it.
stuff.
Yeah,
Sometimes
like
we ad lib.
Interesting stuff.
all the stuff that y'all do in that y'all did in that show, and like the endings, the writing. Even though you just established you didn't write any of this stuff.
No.
What, like,
I didn't need to. I didn't need to.
I mean,
Those
like,
guys were handling it. Go ahead.
what kept it going? What made it so popular, and why did it make sense?
Funny you should say that. A lot of people probably don't get it. They try to make sense out of it. That's the thing. You can't watch Aqua Teen and try to decipher it. You can't dissect it. You can't make sense out of it. The best way I can describe it to people is just get your favorite libation or beverage or smoke depository or whatever it is you do. Sit down and get ready to laugh. Watch the show because it's going to take you on a trip. It's not. It's nothing to try to figure out. Don't try to figure it out. Just enjoy it. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride because it ain't going to be nothing you can explain to somebody. It ain't gonna be nothing to decipher, to dissect, to try to pinpoint why is this character like this or why is that character. Don't do none of that. Just watch it. Just laugh. That's all you can do. You know what I'm saying? I meet so many people that tell me that they love the show or their mother or their sister or their significant other doesn't like it until they see me while I do something cute. Then they fall in love with me wide anyway. I don't know about the whole show, but
Yeah,
yeah, we didn't have no idea the show was gonna last as long as it did, man. We didn't know we had lightning in the bottle. I'm sure if Matt and Dave knew that, they would have asked for more money to begin it. You know what I'm saying?
but even
Not
without
that
any
we
more
got
money,
it,
y'all kept it
but
going.
huh?
Even without more money, y'all kept it going, and y'all stayed true to what it
It's like it
was.
became an entity among itself, and the fans perpetuated it. They fell in love with it, and that's what kept it going for 20 plus odd years, man, or a decade and a half or whatever it was. That first run, we had no idea what we had, but we had something special. We knew that after the first couple of seasons, we're like, okay, this thing has actually got some legs. We can actually go somewhere with this. You know what I'm saying? It's too bad. It's just too bad that we didn't have no sponsorship during that first 15 and a half to 20-year run. No
Yeah,
commercials, no residuals. It sucked. I wasn't in SAG. Nobody was in SAG then. We were just happy to be on a cartoon. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what the hell it was about getting no damn residuals. I was just happy to be the voice of a floating box of French fries with laser beams for eyes, baby. It was cool.
Well, speaking of, I guess, SAG, but like, what are your thoughts on like more modern um, types of like worlds of like voice acting, where it's like it seems that the career and a lot of people's jobs are being replaced with stuff like AI and other type of
I
stuff like.
seriously doubt. I seriously doubt the AI could replace actors because there's always going to have to be somebody to do the voice or motion capture or do something. There's always going to have to be humans involved,
mm,
unless we're talking Terminator shit, where the computers are just going to totally take over. It seemed like that when they had that airport debacle a few months back,
Oh
when
yeah.
yeah,
Microsoft blamed that one company that they outsourced to about. I'm talking about. I was traveling. We were traveling like we were going to and from Ohio at the time doing the show, while that thing went down, man, and we almost didn't make it home. I'm telling you, it was a disaster. That was because of one little error by one person or or a group of people that forgot to press send or something like that, or they pressed send at the wrong time. Some crap. But anyway, that just shows to go you. We are way dependent on computers. We are way dependent on them now. And it's like and they're talking about having fast food restaurants that use robots
Yeah,
instead
yeah,
of people to make your food and shit.
yeah. If you go to like,
Self-driving cars. And
yeah,
what I hate is self checkout. I don't know if y'all feel me on this, but I hate self checkout at the grocery store. I'm like, wait a minute. You want me to come in and shop, get buy my own food, pick it out myself, and then pay for it myself. And then I gotta ring it up myself too? Damn. I don't even work
yeah.
here. And y'all got me working here. It's like
I
I hate
wanted
self checkout. My wife loves it, but I can't stand this shit.
I wanted to ask you also about some of your background. Because a lot of the audience may not. A lot of the people that I talked to before I came up with this show don't even know about Aqua Teens, about you and your background. So I know we talked a little bit in the beginning about like the school that you went to and also your background and how you got into acting and all that stuff. So could you touch on what your experience was like at Lincoln University, which is an HBCU in Jefferson City, and what you were able to get into, also like how you got into the industry, because there's no one way to get into it. So touch on that
I,
background at the
I started
HBCU.
doing theater on the dare in college. Somebody came to my dorm room and was like, hey, they're looking for somebody to play a certain type of character in this play. And the character was effeminate. So it's like they're looking for some. Basically, to break it down to you the way we used to talk back in the 80s, they're looking for somebody to play a gay character on stage in this theatrical production. And I was like, I don't have a problem with my masculinity. I'll go down there and audition for the role. So I went down there and I auditioned for the role, or I thought I was going to audition for the role, but the theater director, the lady who ran the theater department, she was like, no, I want you to play the heavy. I want you to play the villain. I like the cut of your jib. I want you to play the bad guy. So I was like, okay, cool. So I played the bad guy in this play, and like they say, I was bitten by the bug at that point. My sister had already influenced me because we used to go visit her when I was growing up in St. Louis. She went to Coe College in Iowa, and she was a theater major and an English minor. So we would go there and watch her do plays and stuff like that. I was like, look at my big sister doing that, being a whole nother person on stage, pretending to be somebody else. That looks like fun. And I grew up on those Warner Brothers cartoons, man. Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig. Then I found out that one guy did all those voices. I'm like, that one guy was doing all those voices? Sheesh. That looks like fun to me. I think I want to try something like that someday. So before my voice changed, I sounded like my sister. So guys would call the house and go, hey, baby, what you doing? I was like, this isn't Karen. I'll go get her. So and then when my voice changed, when they dropped finally, for lack of a better term, I started sounding like my father. I was like, "Hello, sir. Can I speak to your daughter, please?" Yeah, maybe. I guess I can go get her. Folks. So, you know what they say, and enough people tell you something, it must be true. So everywhere I went, people was like, "Man, you got a great voice, man. You got this deep voice, man. You got to do something with that voice, man. Got to be on stage or on TV, or on radio, something." So I was like, you know what? I think I might want to do something with the voice thing. Everybody's telling me how great my voice is, so I'm gonna try this voice thing. So when I got to Atlanta, I was like, I made a demo. And I started back then. There was little or no computer usage for people. We're
Mm.
talking the '90s, man. So you had to go in the studio, pay for your studio time, which was usually like $50 an hour if you were lucky. If you find a decent studio that would take that much from you. You didn't want to be in there for more than an hour anyway because you spent your $50. You go in there and the engineer would help you. He would cut the sound effects and the music and all that stuff and put you on. And I went to a studio called Cat's Paw in Atlanta. And his engineer is a white guy. He was like, you know what? You sound better than me and this other guy. We call ourselves the Soul Brothers. They call us the Soul Brothers because we do all the black spots in the city. The two white guys doing all the black radio spots in the city because they call them the Soul Brothers. And I'm like, you sound better than a lot of stuff we do here. And I was like, okay, that means I'm getting a job? No. But we can cut your demo and you should get some work from this. That's what he was telling me. So he wasn't lying. I mean, I sent my demo out. You know, you press it in the CD. It comes out like a digital, what they call a DAT, digital audio tape. This little bitty thing that's even smaller than a cassette.
Mm.
This compact disc, and then you snail mail it out in mass to different agencies. I had a list of agents all across the country that I was mailing my demo to, and not a bite except for this one agent who got me the gig for Aqua Teen. She listened to me and she's like, "I want you to come in for an audition." She put me on her roster. The next thing you know, I was doing stuff for Cartoon Network because she had already had an in for that. And I did a lot of musical theater, and I sang with the Atlanta Opera Chorus. I sang with the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra Chorus. I did stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You got to get your feet wet and put it to you that way. You can't just jump from one thing to the next without having a background in something. And my background was theater, and it turned into musical theater, and that turned into opera, and that turned into musicals and all that kind of crazy shit. So I hope I answered
So,
the question.
yeah, you did. Was there anything else in particular that you saw yourself doing while you were at college? You know, I
Drawing,
asked
artwork.
artwork,
I was a commercial art major in college.
commercial arts. Yeah.
Yeah, commercial art. That was my major. And I was in a fraternity, so I would design all the fraternity posters and stuff like that. Every time we had a party, I was the poster guy. I would draw the poster out and tell people about come to the party, the alpha party. We're gonna have this and that. My problem was I couldn't spell very well, so I would mess up the poster and misspell words a lot. My
Uh,
friend was just to get on me about that, but I think I've overcome that.
like you say, you got to be able to enunciate in this business. You know, if
You
you
gotta be
can't,
able to spell.
got to be able to spell too. You got to be able to
Especially
read.
if you want that check, you gotta be able to spell your name. That's just
So with and I want to try and make sure that we don't take up too much time because, like you were saying before about people's attention spans, if you're not at a certain
I'm
time,
sure.
you know, they won't watch the whole
Sure.
thing.
People got
But
ADD, ADHD, XYZ, PDQ.
yeah, we live in a backwards generation. But
No,
what are
no,
your
no. You know what? The thing is, you got so many different terms now for stuff that's the same stuff. It's like when a soldier used to get traumatized in the war, they used to call it shell shock. Now
hmm,
they call it PTSD. You know what I'm saying? So shell shocked is now PTSD. And now that term is used for a whole slew of different things. It ain't just the fact that you were in the war that you got PTSD. It could be the fact that you grew up in an abusive family that gave you PTSD. So there's different meanings for the same thing that they talked about back in the day.
yeah, yeah. So what are your advice? What's your advice for people that are coming in this era into the voiceover or the internet entertainment industry as a whole now with the addition of AI being able to like not necessarily take your job, but you know, fill in some of the roles and responsibilities that those people can in the past had to undertake. Do you see a utility? Do you see people being able to use like do you see a career in that? You know, I see a lot of AI art all over the internet now.
You
I
know
see a
what? I kind of like the AI art. I do. I like the fact that you could do the stuff that they can do with computers.
Trey
That's
doesn't like it, so you've got his
Some of it I like.
Yeah, I'm not really.
Some of it I like.
I'm not really
like
a
the
big
superhero
proponent of it.
stuff. I like the superhero stuff that people can do with AI.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of
I
those
mean,
kind of.
I believe,
Look at the Deadpool
that
movies,
there.
man. That's CGI all over the place. The Juggernaut in the Deadpool movie, that's total CGI. Colossus in the Deadpool movie, that's CGI. But there's a person voicing the character.
That
That's
is
not
true.
AI. That's a person. Like Deadpool 2, that was Ryan Reynolds. He did the voice of the Juggernaut in Deadpool 2. Then it's like, I'm gonna rip you in half now. That was Ryan Reynolds that did that shit. Venom, the Venom movies, Tom Hardy. But
Yep.
the other guy, there was another guy who did the voice of Venom in the Venom movies. He passed away, I think, like
Yeah.
after the second one or before the second one. So now it's all
Mhm.
Tom Hardy now. But there was another VO guy who did the voice. But
There was.
true enough, there's not too much we can do without computers, but sometimes a computer is needed and sometimes it's not. That's the best way I can explain it. And I don't have a problem with AI per se. I don't think AI is going to take anything over per se in the next few years. If anything, it'll get better, but there's always going to have to be human hands involved or human voices involved. There's always going to be a human behind it.
I think in
Otherwise,
my honest opinion, because I am a huge comic book fan, so I believe that in terms of like AI art, I don't really view it in the same ballpark as like normal, like regular art that someone else would do, because I think that stuff that like illustrations that like other like artists have done, I think far exceed anything that I think a computer can like generate. Like for example, like I think I've been recently reading some new like the new Transformers books by Skybound Entertainment, and I believe the art in that is miles better than I think anything like some computer could like generate and like make a vague interpretation of something that was put in like a um computer or whatever.
right.
Yeah.
That's
I get
me.
you. I get you. There's two names that come to mind when I think of creative minds and genius artwork: Frank Frazetta
Hmm.
and Jack Kirby.
Yep.
Those two names come to mind. There's not a place you can look where you don't see the influence of Frank Frazetta, which is like he was like one of the top artists for Conan the Barbarian,
Hmm.
Hmm.
and with Robert E. Howard, creator of Conan, and the other one is Jack Kirby, whose influence is far-reaching in the comic book universe. Like, this guy designed characters like Galactus and all of that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? If you look at like some of the machinery designs that he's created, you see it in a lot of the stuff that they modeled it on was Jack Kirby's designs. Man, these guys were old school, and I know a couple of old school guys from the Marvel universe. I've done a few shows with Jim Shooter, who was an editor at Marvel.
Mm.
He started like when he was 13. And this guy's like 6'7", 6'8". He's a huge beanpole, and he's got some stories about his time in Marvel. I never met Stan Lee. I never met Stan, the man. I wanted to. I was at a show with him.
Shout out, Stan.
You met
Shout
him?
out, Stan. I said shout out, Stan.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Late great Stan Lee. Absolutely. The Godfather. They say James Brown's the Godfather of soul. You can say Stan Lee is the Godfather of comics. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on. Maybe he didn't create everything by himself. That's true. But Stan was the man. It really was. I mean, you got to
Stan
give credit
was
where
the
credit
man.
is due. That's
Stan
like
was
saying, I don't know if y'all saw this. I saw this girl. They showed a video of this girl was talking about Prince wasn't all that. Prince was not a good musician.
Nah, I don't think I saw that.
Some girl that posted something on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. She's talking about how Prince wasn't all that. And I'm like, really? What?
Definitely people with interesting opinions.
That it's like the great debate: who was better, Michael Jackson or Prince? They were both great in their own right. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Michael Jackson, he had been doing this since he was a little kid. Prince too, been doing this since he was a little kid. Prince was a prodigy though. Prince wrote all his own shit. He played several different instruments. Michael was a singer and a dancer, but I don't know how much he wrote of his own stuff, or I don't know how many instruments he played, but I know Prince was like a virtuoso when it came to that stuff. I'm not saying Prince was better. I'm just saying they're equally good in their own right. They were friendly rivals. They were rivals, but they were friendly rivals for the most part, as far as I know.
So to tip off to end this interview, because I want to make sure that we get this all done in time and enjoy the holidays.
Word.
It is right now, we're heading into Christmas, it's the holidays. People are looking to find time to, take their mind off of other things that are going on in the world and just spend time with family and, just relish in the good that's going on. So as
Let me interject for a second and
yeah,
ask you guys how your Thanksgiving was. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was good. It was really good.
yeah, it
You
was a
know,
great
you know, I'm glad that I don't hear people say Thanksgiving was a nightmare. It was a disaster. It was terrible. The turkey was undercooked. You know what I'm saying? That's
yeah.
one of my worst fears because me and my wife usually cook Thanksgiving dinner. So, and we have people over sometimes. And if something goes wrong with that meal, you would never hear the end of it, bro. I'm telling you
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
And we got to get another. We're gonna get another turkey for Christmas dinner. It's like my wife is like, "You want a goose?" I was like, "Goose? This isn't Scrooge." She's like, "No, I want another turkey. I don't want no damn goose. Goose
Yeah.
is similar to duck, for what I want to understand. Or you could
So,
do tofurkey. I don't know what the fuck that is. That's turkey, a duck, and a chicken together or something. I'm like,
the turducken?
yeah, that's what it is. A turducken. You ever had that? You ever had a
Nah,
I've
turducken?
but
never had that.
I heard of it though.
I'm
What?
aware of it, but
Uh,
I'm too scared to. I'm not even gonna try to make it. You know, I'm good with my turkey and dressing. I use my mother's recipe. Rest in peace, Ma. She's been gone since 2005, but her recipe for dressing is right up here.
mm.
And I did make some mac and cheese for Thanksgiving. It was pretty damn good in the oven, not out of a box. In the oven, baby. With all that cheese in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yes.
I digress. I just had to go
Yes.
back to Thanksgiving because that's a very important holiday for me because my mother was born on November 24th. And some
Mm.
years Thanksgiving would fall on that date. So that's a very near and dear holiday to me. But Christmas is good too. That gives me another excuse to put another turkey in the oven.
Yeah.
But yeah. But when you was a kid, when everybody was a kid and they believed in Santa and all this stuff, Christmas was like, oh wow, I want some toys, I want this and that, As you grow older, you realize that you're Santa now.
Hmm.
If you got kids, or if you get someone who has kids, you got to be Santa. So you got to try to make them happy, which in some cases can be easy, but in most cases it's pretty difficult, especially if you ain't got the funds that you thought you was going to have when you was 40 or
So
whatever. When you was 15, you knew you was going to be rich by 40. When you get 40 and you ain't rich, you like, I got to think of something here. You know what I'm saying? But people
yeah.
have been ordering stuff from me, like autographs and stuff like that, telling me to put Merry Christmas on it. So things of that nature make me feel good that I can spread a little Christmas cheer. Like I'm on Cameo, right? And they had this thing going that they wanted me to get involved in to make all my cameos like $20 for a certain amount of time during December because of the holiday. And I did it. I did it. I did a couple of cameos for $20 each. But my
Mm.
price for cameos is my price for this. It's the same. You know what I'm saying? If you want me to do a 30-second video, which is usually a minute to 2 minutes on Cameo, you can look me up on there. Same price as this. But you know what I'm saying? I love my fans. I love my fans, and I love to do what I can do for them. You know what I'm saying? If somebody wants me to draw a picture for them, they can contact me, and I can do an Aqua Teen theme picture. By the way, if anybody has any outstanding commissions out there that I haven't finished, please get with me, DM me, remind me because I've lost all my lists. I don't know who I owe commissions to right now. I know a couple of people, but off the top of my head, I've really lost track of things.
Yeah.
Things
To,
happen.
to to end the show,
Yes.
could you just give one message to everybody out there that is going through a rough time this holiday season, just in anything going on in their lives? Just give them a positive, warming message to help them enjoy the holidays.
Just remember a few things. Mind your business, pay your taxes, and keep Will Smith's name out your. No, I'm just kidding. You know, that's what Eddie Murphy said. Did you see that? Eddie Murphy said that in some award
Yep.
show.
Yep.
He was like, mind your business, pay your taxes, and keep Will Smith's wife's name out your mouth. That that was some crazy shit, though, man. When Will Smith smacked Chris Rock, and a lot of people to this day think it was staged. Me personally, I don't think so. But I'm not a fan of Will Smith now. I'm not. He's canceled in my book. I won't watch none of his old films and none of his new stuff.
Okay.
Chris Rock, I love. I love Chris Rock because he handled it like a gentleman, like a true gentleman. He did that. But if somebody came up to me while I was telling the joke and smacked me in front of the world, first of all, I think I would have ducked. But you know, it's hard to say what you would have done in a situation like that. But that's not what you wanted to hear, is it?
No. No.
No. All I can say is keep dreaming, keep creating. If you have a creative bone in your body, use it. Somebody once told me it's a sin not to use your creative talents. And I kind of do believe that. If you've got, everybody got something they're good at. Everybody has something they're good at. No matter what it is, no matter how long you've been doing it, there's something you're good at. If you're good at something, first of all, never do it for free. Second of all, cultivate it. Keep at it. Don't let it go. Don't put it on the back burner and say, I'll go back to that later. No, 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 no. You need to pull that to the front burner. If it's something you're good at that makes you happy and it makes other people happy, more importantly, it makes other people happy, you got to do it. You just got to do it. I mean, just like this podcast, people have asked me, why haven't I done podcasts? And I'm like, it's too much work. And I'm not good like my wife, who's my engineer. I'm not good like that. I can barely check my email. So I'm not very computer savvy. I'm the guy behind the mic. I'm the guy that can do that thing for you for a certain price that you want done. And I got you. I go to your con, I'll appear. Somebody was like, you and Dana Snyder, Master Shake, y'all should do weddings. I was like, in what capacity? You know, we should do weddings, like wedding crashers, or what kind of weddings? I mean, I don't know if I can see me and Shake doing weddings. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe he's ordained, but I'm not. I can't marry somebody.
Maybe y'all fighting over the same woman, like in
Maybe
an episode or
Frylock could
something.
marry me. Well, he married Svetlana and Carl and Shake. Do you take Svetlana? No. I, I just want to keep spreading joy and happiness all across the masses in the name of Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Number one in the hood, G. I just want to keep everybody happy, man. That's all I want to do, you know?
Amen.
And
Amen.
hopefully we can all get along, like Rodney King said. And next year we'll be talking about this last year going, hey, remember last year? Yeah. Yeah. So I wish you guys the best, man. You guys are some good guys. I could tell when I first met you. Good fellas. Good fellas. Not the gangster type. Good fellas. But good guys. Good guys. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you
Appreciate
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Mr. Means, for coming onto this show. And thank
Absolutely.
you all for listening to Evergreen Conversations, a breakthrough audiovisual storytelling medium that serves as a platform for news, entertainment, sports, and culture. We will see you next time.
Peace, love, and fry grease.